Years ago, my grandpa told me, get a good job, work hard, and stay with the company. You'll be all right. And for a long time, that sounded like solid advice. And back then, it was. The problem is, that just doesn't work the same way anymore. In fact, millions of Americans have followed that advice perfectly, only to get blindsided. They got the job, they worked hard, they stayed loyal. They followed the rules, and yet here they are approaching retirement with debt, little savings, and a growing feeling that finish line just keeps moving farther away. If you're not in your head right now, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you're over 40, I don't have to convince you of this. You feel it every time you buy groceries. You feel it when your insurance bill shows up, when you look at housing prices, medical costs, or the balance on that credit card that you thought would have been paid off years ago. Now it feels like just making ends meet is the new success story, and the numbers suggest that it's not just in our heads. I talk to a lot of guys on job sites. Most of us are in the same boat. One guy is working extra hours to keep his daughter in dance classes. Another needs tires for his work truck, and he has no idea how he's going to pay for them. Another guy's wife is disappointed because they can't afford to make it back home for their family reunion this year. The truth is, most of us are so busy trying to keep up that getting ahead feels impossible. And maybe that's why so many people worry about retirement. Most of us are carrying debt, and we have little or no savings. I know I don't. And now, most seniors are working later in life than ever before. And here's what really hits me. Did you know that most Americans die still owing money? Think about that for a minute. You can spend 40 years working, doing everything you were told, and still cross the finish line owing money. If you're sitting there wondering what you're supposed to do about it, that's really what I wanted to talk about today, because I think a lot of us are still trying to solve today's problems with yesterday's advice. Now, before this turns into a complaint session, let me be clear. This is not a victim video, and I'm not interested in blaming politicians. I'm not interested in blaming corporations. Most importantly, I'm definitely not interested in sitting around waiting for somebody else to rescue us. Whether the game is fair or not, man, we're still having to play it. And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck. They spend so much time being angry about the situation and working on just surviving that they never find a way to build a way out of it. And I'm not speaking from a mountaintop here. I'm 56 years old. A few years ago, I was in much better shape financially than I am today. But life happened. Bad decisions happened. Unexpected expenses happened. And now I'm rebuilding. So when I talk about this stuff, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm standing right here beside you. And here's the hard truth that I've come to accept. The old path, it's not enough anymore. For most people, a paycheck alone won't create financial security. It's not because you're lazy, and it's not because you're irresponsible. It's because the world has changed. Now, the answer isn't panic, and the answer isn't going to be given up. And the answer isn't waiting for the government, your employer, or the lottery to save you, because that's never going to happen. So what is the answer? Well, you can start with becoming harder to replace, learn new skills, and create additional income streams. Pay off debt, live below your means. Next, build something that belongs to you, a side business. If one income dries up, you have a fallback. And start an investment account if you can. Cut back on expenses. Just something, anything, one step at a time. Because here's what I've learned. The people who survive difficult times aren't always the smartest, and they certainly aren't always the richest. They're the people who adapt. My grandpa gave me the best advice that he could in the world that he lived in. But that world's changed, and we have to change too. But maybe the American dream isn't dead. Maybe it just looks different than it used to. Maybe today the dream isn't retiring with a gold watch after 40 years at the same company. The dream is becoming much more about being independent enough that you have choices. And that's what I'm working towards right now at 56 years old. Not perfection, not riches, just more freedom than I had yesterday, because that's a start. Now, if you're rebuilding too, let me know in the comments. What's the biggest financial challenge that you're facing right now? Is it debt, retirement, income issues, or something else? I'd really like to hear your story. And if you're trying to build a better future one step at a time, subscribe and join us, because we're going to figure this out together, one step at a time. Until next time, forge your life.